Hi, I wanted to come in and give you a video on 3 tools that you can use every day to help you feel more peaceful and more present in your life. So let me talk a little bit about presence. I have been studying presence now intentionally for the last 3, 4, 5 years. I studied with Eckhart Tolle in a couple different retreats in person and did his Teacher of Presence program the very first time that he offered it. I learned a lot from Mr. Tolle about presence and the importance of tapping into it, the aliveness that you get from it, and how essentially the future and the past aren't really real. That all we really have is the present moment. It's right now. You might be like, Chris Murray, what do you mean the future and the past aren't real? Of course, I lived my past. Maybe I had these children. I've been married for 25 years. I mean, we've got these histories, right? And the future is all the possibilities that you're excited about, potentially. Maybe you have a trip planned, vacations and things that are coming down the pike for you in the future. So yes, in your human journey, there's a past and a future. But when you think about it, the past is only made up of those present moments. It's now and now and now. The past, you can't change it. You can't do anything about it, right? And so if you're spending a lot of time back there, it's robbing you of being in the now, of being present. Likewise, if you're spending a ton of time in the future with worrying or all the what ifs of the possibilities, then you're probably driving yourself nuts to a certain degree as well. And so what I wanted to do in this video is come in and just invite you to notice if you're present in your day and in your life. Finding presence is life-changing because it's how you show up, and your kids and your spouse and people that you lead, friends, will all notice that you're being much more present with them because you're being here now and letting go of the time that you're spending in the past and the future, which you can do nothing about. So why go there, right? So let me give you 3 practical tools for being more present in your day. The first tool is breathing. This seems like a duh, right? But the breath is connected to this moment, because if you stop breathing, that means that you're no longer on the planet. You've gone, you've left the building. And tapping into your breath can be one of the most powerful tools that we have to stay present. This is, of course, why millions of people on the planet, billions of people meditate and have a meditation practice, because it helps you put your attention on the breath. And then when it strays, you come back and you put the attention on the breath. You know, the work of being on a spiritual path for me has been a noticing journey. I say this all the time in coaching calls that I do with clients, it's just the noticing. It's noticing when the mind goes to a certain place. And maybe the mind has judgment, or maybe the mind has fear, or maybe the mind feels love. It's just noticing. It's the noticing journey. And it's where your attention goes. So that awareness, that attention, that noticing, that is all tied to your breath. It's all tied to when you have a practice so one practical tool you can use with breathing, other than having daily meditation, which I don't necessarily recommend or not recommend, it's really a personal preference, is to set an alarm. If you have a really stressful, overwhelming week coming up, set an alarm for yourself every 3 hours, every 2 hours, whatever you can manage, for 10 minutes. And when that alarm goes off, spend even 5 minutes, even a minute, just breathing. You could do even just 3 deep breaths when that alarm goes off. And within 30 seconds, your day and your attention and your noticing, your energy and your vibration has completely shifted. So that's the first tool, is breathing, is just noticing your breath, using the tool of 3 deep breaths. And at the end of it, you can even breathe for a couple minutes, deep breathing for 2 minutes. You can do different kinds of breathing, box breathing, but noticing the breath and noticing your awareness. So I'm going to tie that into practical tool number 2, which is journaling. So when you use your breath and you notice things and you see that your awareness shifts and you have that presence, you can then use your journal as a tool to help you jot things down, write down insights, write down things that are bothering you, things that you feel are coming up emotionally while you're doing your breathing practice. This has been extremely helpful for me. I use my journal consistently, I would say certainly 3, 4, 5 times a week. I don't write in it like as today was great and here's what I experienced. It's more of I use it when I get insights. And then as I'm continuing to go deeper with myself and these internally related insights that I'm feeling, I can go back and I can read through my journal all the way back to the beginning of when I started the spiritual journey, which was about 5 years ago. Using the journal as a tool to track, to write, to jot, to reflect, to notice. And then in some cases, I use it to work through an emotional process that I'm having. If I'm having something going on with my relationship or something going on with one of my kids, I can put it in my journal as a safe space and I can create a container for that emotion, which can also get it out of my body. You can get it out of my head and put it into my journal, which again is a safe space. It's my container, and I can let it live there with no judgment. Then after a while, after I ponder on it, I may share it with that person, that loved one, and I may not, whatever I feel. And so sometimes something I've written in my journal about one of my loved ones has come back, and a few months later, I actually have a conversation with that person and then share it with them. And that's been really, really helpful for my relationships. But most of all, for my relationship with myself. So that's journaling. That's tool number 2. So we've talked about the breath and we've talked about journaling. And maybe you go, I'm not really a big journaler. That's okay. And this is a different way of journaling. So I would invite you just to go to the bookstore or look on Amazon and get a journal that speaks to you, that you think is fun and cool, that you think would be inspiring you to write in it, and make it fun. And see if it can help you reclaim some power from what's going on and just noticing what's happening in your day-to-day life. The third tool is a big one. It's probably my favorite of the 3, which is pondering. And I learned about pondering from my mentor, my spiritual mentor, Amir Zogi. And pondering is a practice of typically waking up early in the morning and spending a half hour, roughly, sitting in a place where you can have a view of nature, ideally, and just starting your morning in silence. It's starting your morning with a half hour of stillness. It's presence. And when you wake up, and you first wake up and you pour your first cup of tea or coffee, you're still in those, I don't know if they're alpha brain waves, whatever they are, that are just coming up from sleep. But it's supportive in that brain space and also if it's a sunrise, it's supportive because the day is just starting and you can feel the energy of the sunrise and the day, and it will help you go deeper in your pondering. Pondering is simply sitting in silence and stillness with yourself, in nature preferably, and being present for 30 minutes. That's it. When your mind starts to wander on your to-do list or your day, you just bring it back. It's kind of like meditation with your eyes open. Could you just meditate and close your eyes because you find it more supportive? Yes. But there is something to be said for me, looking at nature, looking at the river in the back of my house, looking at the trees, seeing the birds, enjoy their present moment, because the birds are probably not thinking about past and future like humans do, or noticing a flower, or noticing a leaf that's shaking in the wind, or noticing the clouds and how they're moving. There is not only beauty, but the ability to stay present is easier for me to be present with alongside nature, because nature is always present. And so that's the practice. It's also helpful to do it early, before your family gets up, before the world wakes up, before your phone starts pinging. You want your phone to be on silent, by the way, or do not disturb during this practice, or better yet, in the other room. And just giving this gift to yourself. There's no grind, there's no ego, there's no things you have to do, places you have to be, things you have to accomplish. It's just still. And in that moment, I have experienced some intuitional hits or downloads or messages from my higher self, from source, whatever you want to call it, from God. It doesn't happen every time I ponder, but because I'm allowing myself that silent stillness, it's kind of like an elongated shavasana on the yoga mat with your eyes open, if you guys know what I mean. You can tap into your higher self more easily, especially first thing in the morning. So that is pondering. I invite you to do it certainly 2 to 3 times a week, if not daily, and your life will change. So to summarize, the 3 tools for gaining, 3 daily practical tools for gaining more peace and joy in your life through presence is breathing, noticing your breath, having an awareness, journaling was number 2, and then pondering. When you do these 3 in conjunction with each other, it's been life-changing for me, I'll just say. And I will not go back to my life the old way without these 3 tools. So I wanted to share them with you. Comment on this video. Please subscribe to my channel. I do have a cheat sheet to go along with this video. If you would like to grab the cheat sheet, you can go to skool.com, SKOOL. The link is in my YouTube bio, skool.com/Chris Murray. And you can join me there in my school. It's free. It's called Wealth, Love, Freedom. I'm giving these kinds of coaching tips, tactics, trainings all the time. And I have an inner circle over there, and I would love to invite you just to come on over and check our community out at skool.com/Chris Murray and grab the cheat sheet to go along with this video. It's free. All right, thanks. I'll see you over there.